Working over here in the corner today. I haven't been filming because the heater's been running constant today. It's been pretty cold. But this friggin' bumper is massive and it is heavy. And there was no way I was gonna sit it on here by myself, so I got the idea to use a cherry picker, and I was about to unhook it. And I was like, well, I better video it and share on how I installed it. So I hooked the cherry picker up to it. There was some holes. I would imagine these are for aftermarket fog lights, but I was able to put the hooks right in there and put some rags around here so the straps or nothing wouldn't scratch it, and worked out pretty good. I was able to keep it where I needed to mount it. And these pieces here are the pieces that you've seen me fix from the factory bumper that was damaged. They cut out and cut down through there, and I did that earlier today. And don't really like the gap that this bumper has to the fender, but that's about the way it looks like in the pictures on the website, so that's how it's supposed to be. But he's gonna have to put a leveling kit on this thing. As heavy as this front bumper is, it's gonna kill his fuel mileage and everything. But I'm gonna unhook the cherry picker and continue on putting it together. I like the belly pans and fog light buckets right there. Put them in too. I guess I'm gonna have to wire up some fog lights to it too. This truck didn't come factory fog lights. But yeah, I just wanted to film this here or showed how I was mounting it. Well, I got the Colorado all done. I pulled it out here to spray it off before the sun went down, but had somebody come by some doors, so now it's getting really cold. But just going over making sure all the lights work. It's got turn signals in the bumpers, fog lights work. Paint matched real good. Supposed to come and pick it up tomorrow. Not really what I like, but he should be happy with it. Should protect the front end from deers, and that's all he's concerned with. But it's all done and it'll be gone tomorrow. Also, I haven't used double-sided tape yet to stick it, but here's a little toggle switch for the fog lights. I'm gonna stick it right there, and I'm gonna make sure he's okay with it before I stick it on. But yep, she's all done, ready to go. So I painted all the trim for the blue Fox body hatchback that I painted not too long ago, and that'll be the last pieces for it, except for I have to wait on some rivets to pop rivet his hood latches onto his hood that he has here. But other than that, it's all ready to go. And this morning I'm going to be starting back on the Nova and start working the dents and problem areas. See if I can get them a little bit straighter and pulled out a little bit better, so they don't have to use as much filler as they did in the quarters and small places. But I want to do some work with them before I spray the primer on it. And I think I've showed that I already had the primer, but just in case, that's the epoxy primer that I'll be putting on it. And there's some rust converter that I'll probably put on some places too, just to make sure nothing comes back. But other than working these places, it's ready for that epoxy primer to be put on. So I'm going to try and get that on as soon as possible. But I'll probably put you on time lapse while I'm working on this. So I started digging into the bad spots. And here on the driver's side, I have cut the bad spot out of the quarter panel, and it's rusting on the inside. And I've cut the patch panel rust deal. They had filler all in it down here at the bottom, and cut it out. And what I decided to do, instead of me just trying to form some metal to make my own patch panels, I got on the internet and seen how much patch panels were and if they were available. So on this side, I was better off on just getting a large rear. It actually goes above the marker light up here and comes across and down here. And what I'll do is I'll cut my panels out that I need just to patch the small places, because I mean it could be starting to rust down back in here, but for what he's going to want done, keep it small as possible, and it'll be better than it was. But what I will do is I'll cut this out and make my own patch panel for it. That way the outer skin has something to weld to, because it's pretty much gone. And as far as the passenger side, I just started cutting it out and figured I'd film what I did. They've patched it before, and to me it's a cobbled up mess is what it is. And then the inside structure is rusting out here, you know, right behind the wheel and tire. Pushes it all in here and starts rusting it out, making it a mess. They didn't put any kind of coating on the back side of it to help it last or anything, so I'll get that cut out. On this side, since the upper quarter wheel well is in good shape, I just went with the small lower section of the rear panel, and then I'll do the same thing, just cut out what I need and patch it. If you've seen the time lapse, I pulled out most of the dents, kind of the best I could. There was a hole filled with Bondo here, and this was filled up with Bondo. I'm probably gonna have to weld that up and then drill that back because it's the wrong size. Then I'm gonna have to weld that up. And then down here at the bottom of the door, looks like it was some rust and they just filled it of filler. So I'll probably cut this out and make me a little panel out of the extra metal from the panels that I order, and fill this up, because one of them I have a body line in it. So I'll just go off that crease, fix that area up too. But they probably won't be here in probably a week. I should have went ahead and dove into it and had them coming, but I was thinking that it wasn't going to be as bad as it was, but that's my mistake. So in the meantime, I don't want it to sit here with just bare metal for another week or so, waiting on the panels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out just bare minimum. I may end up cutting more out before I put the panel in, the patch panels in. But what I'll do is I'll cut out the panels that need repaired, and then I'll go ahead and tape the thing up and get it over there in the booth and get epoxy primer on it to seal that metal up, so nothing ends up happening with it. And then when the panels come in, I can put the panels in, and then while I start doing my body work and everything like that. So that should work out good. But I'm going to continue cutting that piece out and getting it prepped for some epoxy primer. All right, I had this car delivered to me this weekend, and we're going to be starting on it next. He brought it over on an open trailer, and the weather's been nasty, so it's covered in dirt, so I'm gonna back it out and spray it off really good. This car was at dig or die and hit the wall a year or two ago, and the fender took a lot of the damage. He's already swapped it out with another fender, but the bumper's damaged. Driver's door is damaged, and then the rear driver's side door is damaged a little bit, and then the quarter's damaged. And then there's a couple little dings here and there. Basically gonna be painting the front bumper, fender, this whole side, clearing the quarter panel up top. No sense in trying to burn it in or anything like that. And gonna be doing his headlights too, clearing them. They're starting to flake off. The factory protective coating that they put on it is starting to come off, so I'm going to sand them down and clear them for him. And yeah, I'm going to try and bust this out, and I'll probably put you on time lapse while I work on it. So I started working on the Cadillac. You seen in the time lapse, I've took the front bumper off, the mirror, the molding, so I don't have to tape it up. So there's no chance of tape lining or anything like that. Still have to take the tail light out, and I'm going to see about taking the trim along the top of the quarter panel and A-pillar, all this. So because there's a little bit of rubber against the paint, and I'd rather not have a tape edge, so I'm going to see about taking them off. If they're easy to take off, I'm going to do that. But I've already ground down where the small dents were, and pulled them. I'm about to cut the studs off. There was just tiny dings right here, and then there was a little crease here, and it wasn't very deep, but it was enough that I wanted to pull it a little bit of a crease there and a small crease there. Like I said, this car scrub the wall at Dig or Die. I can't remember if he said last year or the year before. And it didn't really get into the quarter panel too bad. I mean, you think hitting the wall, you would expect more damage than that. But there's a tiny bit of damage in the door there. But the fender took the most of it, and he had already changed it. It just had a small dent in the new fender, or new used fender. But the front bumper is going to need some work too. Where it was scraped, but it don't look like it ripped any of the mounting points off, so that's good. Just a little bit of sanding and some primer, and maybe a little bit of filler and some deep scratches, but that'll be about it. But yeah, I've already pulled everything. My phone was about dead, so I just had it charging instead of showing you me pulling it and everything. But I'm about to cut the studs off and put a little bit of filler in the places and work them and get them ready for primer. Okay, got everything ready for primer. Blocked out and ready to go. I'm about to tape everything up and spray some primer. I wanted to show what it looked like beforehand. This area wasn't too bad. It's really a couple small creases and that was it. This had a little nick that was touched up here. Went ahead and fixed it and got the places down there that was scratched up. And the bumper, I got the bumper all disassembled and fixed the scrapings on the side of it. Also, I did find out how these come off. They're real easy to take off. They just have push clips every so often. Throughout there, it came off real easy. And I went ahead and took the tail light out too. And I see this bumper, how it's released here. I mean, most people who does this kind of work probably wouldn't have took it loose. They probably would have just taped along the side of it because it's not going to get painted. But I like taking them loose. That way when I tape it up, the tape would be way back here instead of just right on the edge, and it'll be a whole lot less noticeable. But I'm gonna get this thing taped up and spray some primer on it. Okay, you can see I got everything taped up and the primer put on. Everything looking pretty good. Got the primer on the bumper too. Nice little dings fixed. And while that's drying, I went ahead and started sanding on the headlights. You can see in the light, which if you're watching this video, you most likely have seen this before, where your headlights start to, looks like they're peeling. The coating, clear coating from factory starts to peel, and you know, they make them headlight restoration kits and stuff that you can buy. But what I like doing is I'll take some 800 grit sandpaper and I'll sand it down. What you can see is this is got all the way down to the plastic on the headlight, and this is actually the coating. You can see the difference of I'm sanding it off. This headlight here wasn't peeling yet, but I wasn't just going to do one, so I went ahead and sanded this one too, which it didn't take much to sand it off the top of the headlight because that sees the most sun. But I stopped here to video so you can see what it looks like as I'm sanding it off. You can basically see why you're sanding when you get it all off. And then I'll start on this one and get all the coating off of it. And then I may hit it with 1000 grit just to help some sand scratches, and then I'll clear them when I clear the car, and they'll look like brand new then. Okay, I've got the bumper all sanded, ready to paint for the CTSV. All I got to do is scuff the edges on the side skirt and it'll be ready. As far as the side of the car, it's all done. I ran over it with 600 on an intermediate pad, just like I showed y'all in the older videos that I've posted up. Yeah, if you haven't seen that, just go back and watch them and give it a like. And this ain't part of the job. He just suggested that he would have liked to have it fixed, and I was going to go ahead and fix it for him. This trim across the front of the hood there had a bunch of nicks in it. Just the paint chipping off. Looked like somebody had painted the chrome black. And I was like, well, it comes off real easy. So I took it off and figured I'd get it ready to paint before I painted everything else. It was nice and small, so figured why not, I'll just do that just to do a little bit extra. And well, you know, trying to be nice and all, and bites me in the ass, I guess. I started sanding this piece of trim, started sanding all the nicks out of it. You can see there's a few right there, but it was all over the top edge of it. And I started sanding in it. Seemed like the black had runs in it, and I started sanding the runs out, and the top of the runs, normally you'll sand it flat before you start getting down to the bottom material. Well, I was hitting the bottom material on the top of the runs. I was like, well, that don't make much sense. And what it wasn't actually runs. If you could see right across that top edge, you see the kind of like little circles right through there. Get a little bit closer. What that is this chrome delaminating from the actual plastic trim. It was worse on this side, that's why it's already off. It's all in the floor. But you could touch it, and you could feel there is bubbles. But it actually looked like runs. So what I started to do is just strip the chrome off of the plastic piece, and I about got it all now, but I was going to share before I did it. But all the chrome is coming off of it, and then what I'll do is I'll just scuff the plastic up and paint the plastic, and it should be good to go. But I'm going to blow this off real good. I may spray it off with the pressure washer, get all the dust and everything out of it, and pull it over to the booth before I go inside tonight. And that way in the morning I'll be able to tape it up and give it some color and put some clear on it and get it done.